see how this one unfolds, because as we've seen from caster predictions to audience predictions, getting the vibe check, people really aren't sure. This does feel like a bit of a coin flip other than the community prediction. So let's see what happens. It is Navi up first with Gaku.
I think the community prediction is always skewed when Navi's playing. Let's be honest with ourselves. I mean, they're such nice guys, but they have done some of the most creative and fun things in Clash Clans. Like, how could you not love them? But now it's time to war. It's time to decide which team is going home and which team is keeping their tournament alive. As Gaku is getting started with this nice Warden charge with that Angry Jelly. Flame Flinger is set up really nice. I don't really see any major threats. There is that multi-mortar over there on the right side along with an Expo, so we have to get that under control. But really, everything looking good so far.
Yeah, it looks great. I like the use of the Warden to tank the Expo. I think he's just waiting for the multi-arch tower to go down, then he can quickly get a ground troop in, but actually he might take out the mortar anyway with the splash from the mortar. So very nicely recognized there from Gaku. That Flame Flinger can then get really good value in the center as it moves across to the Fire Spitter and stuff now. And the Super Yetis have got the funnel across to the left side. They can dive in towards this Monolith compartment.
Great pickup there from the Flame Flinger, and here we go. The attack is underway. He's got to push everything into this compartment that he opened up. Royal Champion will go on the exterior and kind of push everything towards the middle through that Town Hall compartment. He does have the jump. Got to deal with these Clan Castle troops. You don't want to take the damage from those rocket balloons, but so far this definitely feels like it's going to plan.
Yeah, the funneling is set beautifully here. You'll be able to sideswipe the Town Hall as he goes, so no risks of that. Royal Champion, though, did take a bit of damage there. Fortunately, she is now protected. Moving up to the top side, uses the Rocket Spear to try and help with the Earthquake Brutes of the Barbarian King to really rain damage, and this looks good towards the back end.
That Crusher Mortar is going to be a big problem over there, along with that Royal Champion, that back compartment. There's a bow, there's a king, there's a lot that can slow this down. Great invis on the Royal Champion to go ahead and take down the Ricochet Cannon. Super Yetis are making their way into this final compartment. Got to get that Crusher Mortar down. Beautiful range. This is looking incredible for Gaku.
Yeah, I mean, he is smiling, starting the celebrations already, and I don't blame him because that was a glorious attack. Beautiful job by Gaku, kicking things off with the 3-star for Navi. And well, we knew we were in for a good war here, but this is exactly what we wanted.
100%. Gaku has to be feeling good. Remember, he had that low 80% attack. I think it was 80 flat last war, so it definitely didn't go his way. And then bouncing back into this war with a 3-star to begin things. Now all the pressure goes over to Xibai. It's a really interesting concept. When you attack first, obviously the war is out of your control at the end of the war, but also you can force that pressure over early.
Well, it is Meow against Yata, and we are starting with the Super Yetis again. Definitely a popular attack strategy. We've seen this developing a little bit towards the end of the qualifiers, starting to gain popularity, but it seems like teams really opting into that. Starting with the early fireball, hits the air defense, and got those earthquakes in nice and early as well. I see where he goes from here. Just sets that funnel a little bit deeper into the base.
And it's really like those old school smash attacks. I really love the smash metas, but the main thing is like you have to get those healers to transfer over to those big bulky troops to keep them throughout. It's one of those things that seems like a no-brainer, but it can be very tricky if, for instance, your heroes take too much damage from some defending heroes early on. Gets that king under control, now the minion prince to get under control, and it looks like he set up a straight path through that town hall from the bottom side. Keep an eye on these rocket loons and the ice golems as they're going to make their way over to the heroes.
Yeah, I really like just sniping off the minion prince like that early on because the healers are going to be targeted on the queen and the warden, and with the early fireball, he can allow them to do a little bit of work before he has to send in the smash attack and assure that the healing is in place. And now, like you said, we're wanting that transfer of the healers onto the Super Yetis, which is exactly what we see.
Yeah, a couple of those healers switch over. Now the rest are going to come out of that freeze, but the queen is going off on her own. Sometimes this can work in your favor, especially with that action figure, but she's going to be stuck behind a wall, and I think that's going to be a problem.
It certainly is. He has to force that ability to try and get through it, but with the Ricochet Cannon, it can bounce through the different healers as well. He is committing quite a few spells over there, which didn't really pay off, because in the end, he hasn't actually been able to take down anything. We'll get one Ricochet Cannon, but let's focus our attention back towards these Super Yetis.
They're
charging through the Town Hall. They are low in health, though, and we've got the Royal Champion in the Tornado Trap to the right side. We've got a lot of damage to the back end of the base here.
He did have that additional Super Yeti come out of that log launcher, but his main force just got melted on approach, and this one is going to struggle to regain some percent. He does still have King ability, does still have Baby Dragon, so he has some utility troops, but look at that Ricochet Cannon and that Multi-Inferno in the middle of the base. It's going to be so hard to take those down.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because when you look at those, if the Queen had have followed through, she can reach all of those buildings, right? So she was actually intended to reach across, get those defenses, but now just going to fall that little bit short. Trying to hold on to the King ability. I mean, really, he should use it on the outside of the base here, just strip apart, or I guess once the King has taken down as much of these as possible, get down any low HP defenses you can, getting towards that 90%, but not going to match the 3-star we've seen from Navi.
He's trying to get as much of those buildings on the outside taken down, and it's going to be an 89% as that last wizard gets taken out. We got something else on the, oh, we got some skeletons right there. 89% from Yao, which is very
something in Navi's favor is they have good core bases, if that makes sense, where they can defend a variety of teams. Yes, there's teams that are specialized that can really dig deep into their opponent and bait them, but Navi just have solid bases all around. So let's see whether that helps them. But Yata looking to extend their lead here. Royal Champion charge it is, but relatively safe in towards the monolith here due to the other buildings around it. He can be knowing that there's not a huge amount of traps early on.
And he can really take his time with this Royal Champion charge. It's going to set up these roots beautifully. It doesn't look like he's doing anything too crazy with this. A pretty standard approach, which is nothing wrong with that. You don't always have to get crazy creative and do something off the wall to win a war. There's a reason the Root Riders are in the meta. It's because they're such a strong troop, especially when you pair them with this RC charge and then pair them with an Overgrowth later in the base. It's just such a lethal combination on these bases.
And I love using the archers in that Yeti to lure the ice golems out of the way, make sure that he can just take that down and the RC can get the value. Just about got her recalled in the end there, but he kept her alive, and now we've got the Roots diving into this 9 o'clock compartment.
Roots going to go straight in and around. We'll have to see if he does decide to Overgrowth the Town Hall for pathing and then circle back, maybe get it with that Royal Champion's ability after that Overgrowth wears off. Spinning around these balloons, those balloons coming out of the troop launcher. That Royal Champion, she'll be able to heal up a little bit also, along with that Warden ability, just protecting everything right now.
Yeah, I also wondered if he was going to do that and try and nip the Fire Spitter at the same time, opts to hit the Crusher Mortar and try and push things into the Town Hall. Let's see how this plays out, because he does have Root Riders splitting a little bit here. Troops going up to the north will be taking a lot of damage because the healers, well, they've actually switched and they're going that way, but the Root Riders in the middle, they are going down, but nothing too drastic here. He's still got a good push to the top of the base with some hero abilities, but a big chunk of base to get through as well.
A lot of base for sure, but a majority of the pack is up top. I think it was one Root Rider and a couple of those Giants from the troop launcher went to the south. So you definitely don't want to lose any Roots, but could have been worse if it was like a bigger split off there. Still has King and Queen ability along with the Super Barbarian. We'll have to see if losing that Root Rider early pays or ends up costing him, because he is low on Roots. I only see one more Root in there.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Royal Champion just went down as well, so he's missing a little bit of damage behind the Roots. He wants to use that Queen ability soon because you want to take advantage of the cloned Queens. Make sure you're not pressing that too late, that you don't take advantage of that extra damage. We've got the King ability that goes off now, but with 30 seconds and 20%, is he going to be able to get this? He's got some Super Barbarians to help, but I don't think he's going to get pathing into that compartment. Let's see what type of percentage he can get. Remember, it was 89% from Xibai with that initial attack. He does pass over that, so they would maintain the percentage lead, but it's not going to be the follow-up 3 for Navi.
Yeah, great persistence here from Yata to go ahead and work through this base with only 8 seconds remaining. He's going to try to get every last building that he can, and it's going to end up being about 95. It looks like if the Queen can get through here, she does not. But obviously, that's open to interpretation. We'll see how the war develops. That was just what happened in the last war. Root Riders will be the attack for 7. Double Overgrowth feels a little bit less risky than that attack that he threw out last time.
Yeah, let's see where he decides to use the Overgrowth, and the timing of it as well is super important, but I am sure he will be good. Just picking off a couple of the buildings on the outside there, so you can dive the RC right into these defenses. She's not going to get caught to the outside of the base or anything like that. Spirit Fox does take a bit of damage there, but keeps her alive at the moment. Let's see how he can do with the rotations. He's still got lots of invis here, and the Spirit Fox, like I said, a little bit low on health.
Yeah, keeping the Spirit Fox up is very, very crucial, but it is one of the most difficult things, especially with the changes of the Spring Traps, where the Spring Traps just now deal that damage, along with being able to spring out troops. So that can take out the Spirit Fox, can damage the RC. But so far, everything's looking really clean here. He's going to have to recall after getting this Poison Tower, but great setup here for 7.
Yeah, really nice. As soon as that Poison Tower went off, then decided to go with it. I thought he was actually going to enter from 6 o'clock and come behind one of those Fire Spitters. Interesting to dive right into this Giga Bomb compartment where we see the Overgrowth just trying to snap out a lot of those defenses early on. And this difficult area, I guess it would be hard to get to on the back end of the base. Crusher Mortar is one of the most fearsome defenses for Root Riders. But let's see, yeah, Overgrowth timing popping off is great that he can surround that, and the RC is not too far ahead to take too much damage. But there we go, we've used the ability just to try and protect her.
I was kind of surprised he didn't use the Warden ability. There goes the Warden ability. I thought he might use that a little bit sooner just to protect some of those troops. Didn't seem like they took a ton of damage, so I think everything was fine there. A couple rocket balloons, I think 4 rocket balloons, and a furnace out of that clan castle. He uses the Overgrowth to go ahead and shut down the town hall, along with the Fire Spitter shooting up at his troops. So a great use of the Overgrowth there to just neutralize all those defenses.
What is this Lava Hound for? Is this for the back end of the base to tank for the Queen or something? That's an interesting choice moving towards the Town Hall area, but this is great. Notice how the Overgrowth means he's not taking the damage from the Town Hall. It does have a large range, so you've got to be careful of that, but the timing of it then pops off that he can then take it down right away.
Look at those healers. They're right in range of that Fire Spitter. They're starting to take a lot of damage, but the Fire Spitter is actually targeting onto one of the boogers. So while the healers took a little bit of damage, Hound in there should distract the Queen. Let's see if that's the play. And it catches the Tornado, Judo. Good call.
Really, really like that, actually. And this is looking pretty good. 30 seconds left. He's got a lot of force if he can get through this multi-archer tower, which he does. Can he get down to the bottom one? He's got some reinforcement troops to distract that Wizard Tower. And it is going to be the 3-star for Xibai. Exactly what they needed.
They always rotate those. Even the 1st and 2nd spot, they rotate those as well. As Kazuma is going to come in. And it looks like we're going to have a rocket balloon fireball attack raining down on 7's base.
Let's go, and look at all of the invis as well. I wonder whether many of those will be used to set up the fireball, or whether we will have like a back-end Royal Champion charge we've been seeing is a little bit popular. Interesting to see a double rage base like this. We see this a fair bit in Legends, but not always super common in the esports scene. Starting with the Warden to the left, but an instant Overgrowth. I love that, actually, to make sure he can try and get the Expo and set up the Flinger. Fantastic, because sometimes you use like one invisibility spell to do that, but if he can't in this scenario, I love the use of that Overgrowth. Oh no! Fireball!
Not again!
Again!
No! Oh. We saw Fireball go astray earlier.
I was trying not to hype it up. I was trying to just leave it until he did it. Oh! Well, this is dangerous because obviously there's so much damage in that Rage Tower compartment that if you can get rid of that early, then, you know, now he's got to go through it. As long as he's careful, he can mitigate that. But you've got to just make extra safe on that fireball. Use the extra invis if you need to.
Especially since he had so many. And Judo, it was Kazuma who missed the fireball earlier, unfortunately. He did still manage to get it up to a beautiful percent of 83 after a missed fireball. I think that's very respectable. But man, it's like, what if? What if Kazuma's on point? Yeah,
just
good
gets
call,
it in
good
time.
call. Gets that king under control. But man, this is like, it's like one of those things where the nerves get in there. I think if Kazuma's at home, we don't see those 2 missed fireballs from him.
I think it's trying to be super efficient, right? Like in hard mode, this new esports title that we have, the damage is so much that you really need to preserve those spells. But with the fireball, just that one little tile out, you've got to make it sure. But let's focus back to the attack, because you've got to say he's doing a great job here. Keeping the Warden alive through that area. He had popped the Rage Tower early. It's probably going to be coming back relatively soon. He set up that Flame Flinger, which is getting great value. Now we've got Pathing of the Heroes moving in, but with only 1 minute left, Bash. That is what I am probably most concerned about. And there is that Rage Tower reactivating exactly as I was saying. That's going to provide big damage to his heroes to the top.
Yeah, but the Warden was right there, and he pulled the Warden away with those balloons. But it looks like he's just setting up the pathing here so the Royal Champion just can safely take down the Town Hall.
Yeah.
Queen's going to go ahead and power right on through all those defenses. Here comes the clan castle. He's got to get the clan castle under control as well, but only 39 seconds. Like, time is ticking.
He's got to get that fire spitter so that the RC goes to the middle. Otherwise, she might get pulled off to the top towards the multi-gear tower. That's what he's waiting for. Once that fire spitter is down, then he can send in the Royal Champion, pivot through the Rage Tower, or at least I think that's the plan. Come on, Kazuma, you got 20 seconds, my friend. You need the Town Hall.
Oh, there goes the Rage Tower down. Here comes the Seeking Shield. Crusher Motor down. Here come those Rocket Spears to take down the Town Hall. 10 seconds. Oh my, he was just by the skin of his teeth securing that Town Hall. 85%. But it's another what if judo. What if Kazuma's get through here? Nien will be the attacker against Star's base. And we saw Nien using the roots earlier on in the day, and he had a pretty big miss at 83%. Remember, Navi were up by 6%, so anything above 92% shifts the advantage to Xibai.
Diving the Royal Champion in. Right, it's taking a lot of damage from the giant bombs. He's got to be careful. RC's moving towards the center. He does react with the invisibility spell, so really nicely done. But I feel like he's about to lose the Fox here if that monolith fires, because it is a fast-acting defense. That's why he's double cycling with the invis spells. Getting that down, and you've got to say, has managed to hold his composure from a bit of a nervous situation there.
Man, I thought the Fox was going to linger
right
back.
On the edge.
RC! Oh, okay, she's barely alive. He's going to recall her. Did lose the Fox, but at least he didn't lose the Royal Champion there, because that was almost devastating.
I feel like you have to, like when you're doing the Royal Champion charges, you've got to be ready for her running in the wrong direction and actually using that invis spell, because if you don't react fast enough, you've lost your RC. So he definitely, whilst didn't get the value he might have planned, keeping the RC alive is critical. Diving into this top area now, he could still save this, but percentage-wise as well. Remember, stars are tied up, so he's looking for that good percentage as well.
It seemed like the King and Queen kind of changed spots there. The enemy Royal Champion pulled the King into that compartment, and then the Queen, she shifted to the outside from those buildings that the King didn't pick up. So we'll have to see if that factors in a little bit later as this compartment is open, and now the King is starting to walk to the exterior. A lot of things just need to circle back in. He needs to cut this top side off and push everything through that Town Hall.
Yeah, I was just about to say, he's got to use the Warden ability there, which he does. Even though he, you know, doesn't use it over the top of the Giga Bomb, there was just too much risk the way that RC was taking damage. She has now gone down, trying to loop around behind the Fire Spitter. Again, you see that Lava Hound look. Just now sends it in across the entirety of the base. That's an interesting move, even just to pull the Poison Tower, I guess. Not to, gets the Tornado Trap as well. So really nice play there, but he's got to get to that back end of the base for that to actually pay off.
I really like that they kind of tech in those Lava Hounds. They're really good at using those, pulling up those Poison Towers, catching another Tornado, distracting heroes. They're just using those all around, even multiple Lava Hounds. Root Rider's now making their way into the center. He's got to get this King under control as quickly as possible.
40 seconds as well, Bash, and there's still a lot of base to go here. He's got the King ability, he's got nothing else to deploy now. Sending those Rocket Loons to try and allow the Archers to clean up. Multi-Mortar is sniping a couple of them off, though. 30 seconds, you never know. He's got a Booger on the Clan Castle, which will be able to get that. It's looking pretty good here, Bash, as we close on in. I don't want to call it too early. Is Xibai about to take the star advantage as well?
It looks good. It's looking like Nien's going to get a 3-star, and Xibai as Klaus.
This matchup, didn't it? Just not paying off for him. Let's see whether he can get it to work here. Interesting that we see the Angry Jelly on the Minion Prince alongside the Rocket Balloons here. Just using that maybe as a Minion Prince charge towards the back end of the base, but we've got the Fireball to set up first. And let's hope he can land it.
We've seen these like kind of little segmented approaches on these Rocket Loon Fireball attacks. I think it was Darkstar had one of the craziest ones where he used that Minion Prince charge earlier in the season. If this is able to be pulled off, it is so impressive, but it's also, like the multitasking in a Fireball attack is already tough enough. Then you throw in a Minion Prince charge, and there's just so much going on at this attack. This is a big moment for Klaus and Navi.
Klaus was always known for his creativity, right? But in esports mode, can you be that creative? He lands the Fireball exactly where he wants, snipes out that Clan Castle so that any defending troops cannot come out of there. He's wiped it out early on, managed to negotiate the damage around that RC very nicely, which was a tricky area. And I like the use of the Furnace at the top as well. Hey, whilst time is ticking, just allow that to take out a couple of the buildings at the top.
Yeah, it kind of makes up for that 10% less damage that the Warden's doing. I also like that he kind of like, it seemed like he stuttered there for a second, waiting for those invises to make sure he had all those defenses, and then he sent that fireball in. You can't wait too long because the invises only last 4 seconds, but it seemed like he was very diligent. He's like, I'm not missing my fireball. Great value pickup from the fireball. Queen now working on the bottom side.
The expo.
RC.
Maybe that's not a big deal because of his minion prince being on air afterwards, but obviously would have been nice to pick up. I mean, what an approach this is. You've got to say, how do you bait this as an attack strategy? He's attacking from every single angle. Minion prince in from the bottom. Does appear to have taken high damage early. I wonder if he hit a seeking air mine there that hadn't been scouted for. Blimp coming in towards the center. Let's see that he can land this. He's got it.
Yeah, he's had it. If he does it,
that's his approach for the Town Hall.
He's going to go ahead and rage it up, take the monolith. They'll go over to the Town Hall. Mini Prince takes Seeking Air Mines to the face, and he is down. But look at those Yetis. Those Yeti Mites are going to bounce out. They're raged up. They should be able to take a lot of this down out here. He doesn't have a lot of force left. He's got a couple Baby Dragons and just one Rocket Balloon. But there's really not a lot of base left either with a minute.
It's time, because he's only got the Warden. He's got cleanup around the base. He's got the Rage and the Freeze, so I'm not worried about damage here for him. But the Warden is kind of responsible for this area. You never know. He's chilling at this point. He's just got to reinforce the troops as we go. What an approach.
Great freeze.
Let's see. Air troops around that bottom area of the base. None of the defense is going to attack, and it's looking good for Klaus.
Klaus is looking to put Navi back in the ballgame with a 3-star, and it looks that he has done it with 24 seconds. There should be nothing to slow this one down.
Wow.
Look how relieved he is there, Judo.
Phase them. You know, they just keep on going. So it is Suben to attack here. We've got what looks like a lengthy RC charge maybe, or are we going to have a fireball alongside this? No, it's going to be the RC charge. So let's hope that he doesn't run into any major traps at this area of the base. Oh gosh, RC's running away from where he expected early on as he missed the air defense with that invisibility spell. She's not going to go for the Town Hall, which is what he expected.
Yeah, he was trying to send it right into the Town Hall. Might be able to get a redirect.
Nice.
There we go. Good redirect. Yeah, he was trying. We talked about the mist and invis on the fireball attacks, but it could be just as devastating on an RC attack. Going to go ahead and pull her out early after getting the Town Hall. Pretty heavy investment for the little bit of value he got, if I'm being honest there. But he does get one of those key structures of the Town Hall. I mean, we talk about overgrowth in the Town Hall and just negating that damage. If you just get it out early in the attack, you don't have to worry about all of that raining down later on.
Yeah, he expected the monolith to be gone here as well, so got a little bit unfortunate, you got to say, with the enemy king up there, but he did negotiate that area very well. But let's see if that monolith can actually lock onto the troops that are needed to take out. He's going to be able to overgrowth the center here, try and just keep them away from the monolith for as long as possible. He does hit the tornado and a bunch of traps, but there's not going to be too much damage as he's dealing with the ice golems because that crusher mortar is out of action.
Getting an overgrowth on the crusher mortar is massive, not to mention the 2 multis right there. Plus, look at the padding that it creates. Not only does it shut down all that damage, oh no, Queen's doing Queen things. She's going for that storage, but she should bounce out. Oh wait, she's going to pop ability and take out the multi. Queen might get taken out there, but it creates great pathing around the exterior of the base is what I was trying to say, as the Queen went off and kind of just sacrificed herself to the monolith there.
Yeah, I mean, nice for her to pick up the multi, but he would have definitely rather she be down at the bottom. Looked like one of the Queens was there, but let's see what he's got here. He's used the Warden ability. Healers are all but gone at this stage. We've got the King ability. I mean, at this point, he's got to just try and get that percentage as high as possible. Keep in range of Navi to make sure that, you know, the stars are equal right now. Even though Navi just got that second 3-star, they don't want to fall too far behind on percentage. You said it, 92% is what they need to keep that percentage mark going into the last round of attacks.
Judo, if this misses, I kind of hope it's 92 flat, so we have a whole new ball game going into the final attack. 85% is the mark right now. It does not look like it's actually going to be able to get up to that 92% mark. So it looks like Navi are going to control their fate. We've been talking about Wei, but we haven't talked about Stars. Stars came in with a 3-star in their last war, and we know that he can clutch up time and time again. And with this one falling 87%, Navi will have the advantage. If Stars can triple, now
this is the moment. Stars versus Wei, it is as well. So it is going to be the Root Rider attack. We've got the invisibility spells ready for the Royal Champion. Where is he going to be diving in from? It is at the bottom of the base here, right in towards that multi-gear tower to take that out. Couple of balloons to take out the mortar and hopefully redirect the Royal Champion. Make sure to control her pathing. Can he keep the Fox alive here as well? Because that is critically important as he moves through the attack.
Gonna go ahead and let her redirect. Oh, she's gonna actually go to the minion prince here. Thought she was gonna go over to the monolith. He's gonna actually let her just take out that minion prince, which will actually push her into that crusher mortar next. Great invis cycle there from the Fox. Royal Champion should be able to get this crusher mortar under control. Still plenty of invises, so he'll be able to take that down before he recalls her. That's a lot of damage off the base early.
Yeah, and really, really efficient use of the spells as well. He didn't use them all, right? He doesn't need any extra damage. He's got the defensive pathing. Save that invis spell for later. Now he's, again, can just breathe a sigh of relief. King going on the outside of the base, though, so does have to use that invisibility spell to redirect. Really nice job there by Stars with the King abilities, wanting that Giga Bomb out early so that he doesn't have to deal with that. But can the King splash through this area? Remember, with the Gauntlet, he's taking less damage.
Less damage and dealing splash damage. He gets that poison tower out, he gets the scatter out, he just picks up so much value. And now the roots, not only that, he creates the pathing for those roots to just go ahead and circle around here. Here come those Clan Castle troops, rocket balloons, furnace, ice golem. He's got to get that under control, but things are looking solid here for the start for Stars.
Certainly does, as we've got caught in the tornado, hitting a bunch of the traps, but so far under control. What is he doing for that town hall? Is it going to be the RC ability to try and just snipe that as he goes around? Queen on the outside of the base to try and help out. Yeah, there is that rocket spear to pick the monolith. Once that goes down, she should go to the town hall, and then even if she doesn't get it down, she'll just run in towards that town hall anyway.
Yeah, she'll get there eventually, but the problem here is the healers have stayed back with that Royal Champion, so they haven't surged forward, and it looks like all the roots are down. There's no more roots on the base.
Yeah, he's managed to get the multi-archer tower at the bottom there, so he doesn't have to worry about that back-end defense. He can snipe a couple of the buildings. 92% is what it was you were saying. It's going to get close because he's still got a freeze spell and ice golem, but once this overgrowth wears off, the extra damage these defenses deal, that is a lot of damage, especially with the defending queen in that location as well.
Oh, this is not looking
Dicey.
good. I think holding on to that Warden ability for so long may have cost him here, because I understand what he was trying to do, but he almost needed like to overgrowth the Town Hall monolith there and just like kind of let them work, or maybe just overgrowth the Town Hall and path to that monolith. It's going to be a low percent, which means the door is going to be open for Xibai, and Wei can win this war.
Navi had a 5% percentage advantage after that last round of attacks. Truly capable of as well. We're getting that 3-star in the first matchup. It is going to be the Super Yetis. Let's see what he's got in store for us. We've got the Angry Jelly on the Queen, so it looks like he might be starting with the Queen and Royal Champion, the Queen and Grand Warden approach. And there it is at the bottom of the base.
Queen under a lot of pressure early, has to go ahead and use an invis. Those ricochet cannons are no joke in esports mode. 20% more damage is crazy strong, but he does get that under control. Now the Queen's going to go ahead and surge forward in here with the Warden, use another invis, go ahead and get that monolith under control as well, picking up all the value that he's looking for. But remember, there's a little bit of risks to this because they do run this all the way across the base. He's either going to go left or right side. I would assume he's going to go right side into the multi-gear tower. It's a long way to that town hall is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I really like this approach, actually, because what you see is with the Royal Champion charge, you've got to be very careful with that blink so that you don't take damage. He can actually delay the invis spells that tiny bit here, so they do take a little bit of damage, and then when the invisibility spell is there, the healers are just healing them back up. So he had really perfect timing. Love the Yeti to set the funnel on the left side of the base. There's the overgrowth to the Crusher Mortar log launcher, hoping to set up the pathing through the compartments to that town hall.
I thought he might go into the multi-gear tower so he could deal with that early, maybe even use the Warden ability through it on approach to the town hall, but electing to go away from it, shut down the Crusher Mortar and the ricochet cannons there. He does have the Fire Spitter shooting the Queen or the Royal Champion on the outside with the King there. He's got a lot of force here, but this is also a big dangerous spot with those ice golems going to freeze.
I was wondering whether he was going to use the Warden ability. I'm like, maybe you want to use the Warden ability. He presses it, gets through that area. Look at the Super Yetis now. Log Launcher opening up that compartment, beelining to the Town Hall, making sure to get that 2nd star. 87% is the marker. Where is going for the 3-star? Either way, it's looking pretty good here. He's still got the RC ability, climbing up to 70. He needs 17% more bash to win this war.
And if it was 86%, it would come down to time. And if you look at the time, Xibai are already faster. So an 86 might even be fine, but you're right, 87. Get that number. We don't want it coming down to tie. We don't have to do calculations here. Let's just get the war done. And Royal Champion's working. She's still got ability. This is going to be the victory. Xibai are going to do it. They're going to take out Navi.
They certainly are, and Wade disagrees with you. He doesn't even want to win on percentage. He wants to win on the 3 stars. He's got that Royal Champion ability with the Hog Rider puppet as well to try and swarm this back end of the base. Can he do it? There's the Headhunters moving in to try and distract these defenses. Maybe could have sent them to the hero, but he wants to just distract those. Can he actually finish it out with a 3-star? Either way, they've got the victory, and he's done it. That's why he is one of the most consistent players in Clash of Clans history. A 6-pack for today's wars, carrying his team to victory. Xibai taking down Navi.